Shouldn't have given me a attorney's tool.
So sit down. Okay. I can sit on this thing? Okay. Here.
So, what do you want me to talk about?
Cool. Is this okay? Should I?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So my name is Chelsea, and I am staff here at YWAM Madison, and I led an outreach team to East Africa.
My name is Keaton Brenneman, and we did outreach in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania.
My name is Megan.
I'm Bridget Espenshade.
My name is Grace.
We were in northern Uganda, about 20 miles from the South Sudanese border, and we spent a couple days in a refugee camp for the South Sudanese. There were just a few of us, so we were sitting around the campfire, and one of the students had the really great idea to give our chairs to the youth, because usually we are as guests, we get the special chairs, we get the most comfortable seats. But instead we decided to give them the chairs and sit on a blanket on the ground. And so as I was sitting there listening to their stories around the campfire, under the stars in Africa, it just really hit me, this is amazing. This may be the only time this ever happens in the history of man, that seven Mzungus, white people, and these South Sudanese refugees get to sit around a campfire and just enjoy each other's company. And so it just brought this sense of awe and wonder to me, and reminded me to look for something every day to be in awe of, and just to thank God for those things, because they're everywhere.
I guess one of the stories I have is of a kid named Flip. That's not his actual name. When we met him, he actually only had one sandal. So instead of calling him Flip Flop, we called him Flip. He was just so joyful and just overflowing with joy. And that was so cool to see, just one of these Sudanese refugee kids just having so much joy. And it's just so incredible to see that, even in the circumstances that they're in. They don't have access to clean water, good food, or basic sanitation, so that's a really good thing to see that.
And I would say that joy was the theme of our outreach. We got to experience joy. If I can think back to one moment where I saw the most joy was at a church service.
I had to preach, so I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, they were just so excited about worshiping. You can just see the joy that they had in their hearts. And while she was giving her message, they would just stop and just start praising God and worshiping Him for who He is.
They all started singing and dancing in the middle of my sermon. I'm like, what's going on? I was so confused.
There's one grandma that stood out in particular, and grandmas are the cutest things in the world. Eventually, I made my way through the crowd, and I squatted beside her. That moment was just so amazing and very memorable, and I think that she appreciated that I sought her out after her to just dance 5 seconds with her sitting down. And so that was really good.
It was just really cool to see how celebratory and joyful they were.
So I met this 4-year-old little boy named Cohen. He was crying one day when we were mudding his house, and when African kids cry, it's a really big deal because they're not supposed to cry. And I went outside to see what was wrong with him, and I saw that his bike was broken. I had an idea that I could post the picture on Facebook and see if we could get money raised to get this little boy a new bike. And I really felt like it was on God's heart to do that. And so I posted it on Facebook, and within 10 minutes, we were raising money for the bike. And before I woke up the next morning, all the money was raised, and we ended up getting to go and buy him a bike that day.